Alright, welcome. So I'm playing this robot again. I played him in my previous video and I tried something really aggressive, and the robot is rated 1875. I didn't know if my aggressive tactic would work or not, so you'll have to watch that video. I don't want to spoil it. I don't mind giving away the outcome, but I've had comments before where people have said, you know, don't do that. You're taking away the fun of watching. So you can check that video out. Here I like to capture towards the center, and then I hop down there. I remember in the opening it's a battle royale to control the center. But I'm playing this robot again because my previous video was very fast. I think it was under 3 minutes, or maybe it's just under 4 minutes. But if you follow my channel, I've said this before, I know my limits. And usually up to 1900 baht I can win, but I have to go slow. And so I'm trying to make my videos quicker. I know people don't like long drawn out videos, and so but with the 1900 bahts I have to take my time and slow down quite a bit. So here I'm trying to debate if I attack the dark squared bishop, that also opens up the diagonal for my light squared bishop. So I'm leaning towards that. I just want to make sure, like I said, this this level is getting close to my limit. So my opponent's using their pieces together, really hammering down on the f7. But this pin, I think, because with that pin, with my dark squared bishop, putting that pin on that rook, the queen can come down, but it can't use the rook. It can't bring the rook down. So that's check, has to be dealt with. So yeah, I have to be very careful. That light squared bishop has an absolute pin on my king, and I don't like that. But there's other things going on the board. I can't completely deal with that. Okay, so knight's in my territory, attacking the queen. It's time to do a bishop exchange. Or not a bishop exchange, I'm sorry. Take out the knight and then bishop takes bishop. So now my a8 rook is under attack. I don't know if I should move the a rook up to a7 or if I should move the a rook to b8 or some other thing. My rook's under attack and it needs to get in the game. And my opponent is using their pieces together really well. So you know, now that I've made that move, moved my a rook, I'm to the b8. I wonder if that was a mistake. I'm going to review this game afterwards, however it turns out. I'm up point-wise. I'm up 2 because if you cancel everything out, it's basically a rook versus a bishop. A rook versus a bishop. So in the end game, because we both have a queen, we both have a rook on the f file, and then I think we have the same amount of pawns. Yes. So what's left is my opponent has a rook, and I have, or my opponent has a bishop, and I have a rook. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I'm trying to stay focused and run my big fat mouth at the same time. So my opponent just, I hate my king being there, but I've got 3 attackers. I got the bishop, the queen, and the rook. Queen and the rook's lined up with my opponents. And so if the bishop comes down, you take with the rook, then the queen takes queen. And then I need another piece there to take out the rook, hence the king. So if I move the king away, I'll run out of defenders. In the end game, you got to put your king to work. But I like for the queens to be off the table before I start actively using my king. And I feel like, yes, I'm pinned there, but keeping my king there is stopping my opponent from hammering down on this attack. I need my king there. So I wonder now if my rook move was a terrible mistake. Like I said, I try to make this a quicker video, but these 1900 robots, oh, this one's 1875, I guess, technically, but I can usually beat a 1900 robot, but not in under 10 minutes. I need time to go to this level. And some of you may be watching and can easily beat a 1900 robot. That's awesome. I should be watching your videos, not you watching mine. This is my opponent. I'm up 2, but I feel like my opponent has the better position. And so, okay, sweet. Okay, doing a queen exchange. I love it. Okay, I feel like that really played to my advantage. Because now, if you remove the 2 F rooks, it's a rook versus a bishop. So, good, clean chess should finish this in my favor. However, if you follow my channel, you've seen me screw up some endings where it's in my favor and I screw it up or fall for a draw. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Now I got my rooks lined up. My pieces are finally working together. I can be brought in to check. However, there's an easy way out, and this is the disadvantage my opponent has with the light squared bishop is I can park on a dark squared, and there's not much my opponent can do to get me in check with proper play. So I'm just trying to think. Okay. You know, I'm kind of surprised at that move because I'll definitely trade pieces. And my opponent's king is cut off because my rook's sitting there on the F file, and my opponent can't get out of trouble there. By the way, if you can see over my shoulder, I've got Susan Polgar's Chess Tactics for Champions. I bought that book years ago, and I can kind of let my guard down a little bit now, but I love that book. I went through it cover to cover more than once. I also have Chess Openings for Dummies. So both are very good books that I've looked over many times. But the Susan Polgar book, she's definitely one of my chess heroes. And it's a fantastic book. I'm not being promoted by anybody for this video, but that Susan Polgar, Chess Tactics for Champions, I highly recommend it. Now here, the c5 is backing up the rook, and so, and the c4 pawn is working against my opponent. So I'm leaving that piece there, you know. Hey, you want to block in your bishop? Go ahead. So I assume my opponent is going to try to go for some kind of stalemate. So I want to make sure my opponent always has a legal move. So, okay. I'm just trying to think of how I want to put this together, because my opponent owns that light square diagonal, so I can't just pop up for the win. Okay, now my opponent's just throwing pieces at the problem. It does nothing. I mean, I think a human would resign. Yeah, this is over. I'm just trying to think the best way. I hope you stick around for the review. I'm going to see some of the moves I made. I wondered about. I'm just going to do a quick review. We'll look at the numbers and do the review. And like I said, I'm going to do a quick review. Yeah, so here's the numbers. Let's see what we got. Oh, I surprised myself on this one. It's going to be... Okay, let's do the actual review. Okay, so I'm going to make this quick because YouTube has this new feature called pause. You can pause. Okay, yeah, so there was a better move for that A rook that I talked about. YouTube has this new feature called pause, and you can see, or you can slow down the speed. All right, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Cheers.